Christos anesti
Today is 28th of September 2014. We are in St. Barnabas Antiochian Church because it's documents. I have to mention what date it is. I want to share with you from the reading today in Luke chapter 5, is it? The Gospel of Luke chapter 5, verses 1 to 11. Let me read again. At that time, Jesus was standing by the lake of Gennesaret, and he saw two boats by the lake. But the fishermen had gone out of them and were washing their nets. Getting into one of the boats, which was Simon's, Jesus asked him to put out a little from the land. And he sat down and taught the people from the boat. And when Jesus had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch." And Simon answered, "Master, we toiled all night and took nothing, but at thy word I will let down the nets." And when they had done this, they enclosed a great shoal of fish, and as their nets were breaking, they beckoned to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came and filled both the boats so that they began to sink. But when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, "Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord." For he was astonished, and all that were with him at the catch of fish which they had taken. And so also with James and John, sons of Zebedee, who were partners with Simon. And Jesus said to Simon, "Do not be afraid, henceforth you will be catching men." And when they had brought their boats to land, they left everything and followed him. It was in the middle of their job. They are doing their daily life, searching for means of living by catching fish. And Jesus came to them. They were not disciples yet. They were just simple fishermen. And Jesus came. It signifies that Jesus actually did not despise the vocation in life. Whatever human being do, he is there. The problem is, especially we are Christian, the problem is, do we recognize the presence of the Lord in the middle of our daily life? Do we understand that the Lord is there and try to tell us something when we are working, when we are doing? The Lord is not something only to be understood within the church or in our spiritual pursuit, but also the Lord has to be understood even in our daily life, because life does not belong to us. Life belongs to Him. When people do not recognize the presence of the Lord in their daily life, then their life becomes meaningless. They do not know why they are here. They do not know why they are doing what they are doing. And this is what happened with the apostle. And he said here, and when Jesus had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch." It seemed that Simon did not go to a deeper part of the ocean yet. Many times in our spiritual walk, we like to be shallow. It's enough for me. Just 1 hour to the church in 1 week. Okay, the rest I don't do anything. The rest I just will be busy with my daily life. We just try to step on the seashore. We don't want to go deeper into the ocean. This is the nature of human being. We give a lot of times for football. Watching football, we can be whole night. But when you come to the church, we always keep looking at our watch. What time? What time? Because I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Why? Why we put our non-spiritual thing which does not give us eternal life more time and more concern than the need of our spirit? Remember that we are not a body with spirit. We are a spirit with a body. The body will be gone. The need of the body will be gone. But the spirit will continue to exist. The spirit will not be destroyed when the body is destroyed in death. So it is important for us to see our real self. Our real self is not what we look now, when we appear now, with our clothes, with our jewelry, with our houses, with our money. It is not. All those things finally will be gone. We will not bring even one dime of our money to the graveyard. If we bring, it will not use. It will have any use at all in the other side of life. So it is important to remember this, what the Lord Jesus said. In Matthew chapter 10, 28, it says, in Matthew 10, 28, the Lord Jesus Christ says as follows. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Which means, when the body is killed, when the body is dead, the soul is not killed, the soul does not die. The soul will continue to exist. Yet we are busy to pamper our temporary body with all sort of lust, with all sort of enjoyment, but forgetting the need of the soul. The Bible tells us, at least in common life, we will live only 70 years. Let me read for you. And then we count now how many years we have lived. Out of that 70 years that God allotted for us. Of course, there are some people, exceptional people, who can live for 100 years. My grandfather was 104. But not many people live like that. And a few of them. In Psalm chapter 90, verse 10, let me read for you. Book of Psalm 90, verse 10, it says, the years of our life are 60, means 60, and 10, 70. Or even by reason of strength, 40, which is 80. Yet their span is but toil and trouble. It's not true. Not toil and trouble. The span of the life, toil and trouble, is difficult for me to go up and bringing all the suitcases from one bus to another, from one plane to another, so toilsome, so difficult. And you have your own toil. May not be your health. It may be your economy. It may not be your economy. Maybe your family life. It may not be your family life. It may be your relationship with other people. It may not be your relationship, but maybe you're fighting in the church. There are so many different toil in the span of life that we live in this world. Yet, we love the world more than we love the Spirit. We love the world more than we love God. The reading today reminds us, look at yourself. Look deep at yourself. Don't just be shallow in understanding life. Life is not clothes. Life is not fame. Life is not good house. Life is not just a lot of money. All those things is just temporary. life is the spirit inside. So that's why Jesus said to us here in our reading today. It says that go into the deep. He's challenging us now. Where was it? Put into the deep and let down your nets for catch. Jesus wants us to go deeper. Jesus wants us to change the orientation of our life. Some people say, yesterday I went to this restaurant, it's an Indian restaurant, and the server, I didn't know what she was a Caucasian. And I was talking, I thought she was Hindu, but it turned out she was Orthodox from Serbia. But she was never been to the church because her father was communist. And then I told her, why don't you go to the church? The answer was, will I get more money there? Will I get more money there? And I told her, I will evangelize that lady. That is not money. Money is not everything. Yes, we need money because we live in this world. We have to pay our bill. But money is not everything. With a lot of money, but if you don't have meaning in life, if you do not have God in your life, there's a waste of life. Few years back, I had a friend, an Indian Orthodox, who lived in Cincinnati. And he took me to the house of this one Serbian man. And I talked with this man. The house was gated, a very big house. And I would talk to this man. He was about maybe 70 something at that time. And I was talking with this man. And I talk about God. I talk about the need of the soul. I talk about the spirit. I talk about what happened after life. That finally we'll die, but our spirit will continue. What happened if you do not prepare from now? And he cried. He cried like a small baby, and his wife beside was watching him. And what happened? Father, you're right, he said. I don't know, he told me that he has factory, something like that, in Canada, in Europe, in Australia. And he gave the factory to his children, I have all those things. I never lack of anything, worldly speaking, but my heart is empty and I do not know what to do with all these things. I said, you're right. Your heart needs God. Your heart cannot be filled with drinking. Your heart cannot be filled just with money. Your heart cannot be filled with riches. It needs God. So that's why St. Augustine, in his book, it's called Confessions, chapter 1, verse 1, he said, God, you create this heart for you. And this heart will never be at peace until it rests in you. Where do you put the rest of your heart? In your money? In your riches? In your faith? In your beauty? In your look? In your clothes? If you put all your hope on all those things, you put your heart in all the wrong places. You have to put your heart deeper into God. God is the rest of the heart, because when the soul leaves the body, it does not need all this material belonging. So that's why it is said here that, and Simon answered, Master, we toiled all night and took nothing. When we work in life without God, that's what happened. We toiled day and night. We use our head become our feet become our head in order to get what we want to achieve. Yet at the end it's nothing. Don't you surprised with, what is that? Robin Williams? I was shocked. He's known to make other people laugh. He was known to entertain so many millions of people in America and all over the world. But he ended his life miserably. We do not know that inside him there is something that makes his life meaningless. So he had to end up his life. The entertainment of the world, the joy of the world is false joy. Whatever TV tell you, whatever media tell you, whatever movies tell you, all those things are false. You need to go deep. Your toil will be wasteless and vain, just like Peter. We toiled the whole night, we took nothing. That is right. When you toil without God, when you toil only for yourself, when you toil only for the world, you will get nothing. You will never be happy. Happiness is not in possession. Happiness is not in money. Happiness is not in the house. Happiness is the state of the heart. When the heart is filled with God, that is, happiness will come in you. The heart without God is empty. You may be famous. How many famous people ended their life tragically? Remember Liberace, long time ago? So flamboyant, singing, piano, playing piano. What is the end of their life? Eaten up by AIDS. He died because of AIDS. Why? Because he was trying to find fulfillment in life in all the wrong places. He did not know what happened unfortunately. Remember how many celebrities ended up their life in such state? Marilyn Monroe, what happened? Famous, beautiful, rich. What else? Just committed. What is the end of her life? Again, committed suicide. It shows that the heart without God is empty. Money cannot replace that. Fame cannot replace that. Beauty cannot replace that. God is the only one that can give you meaning. Your toil will not be wasteless if you are toiled with God. When you toil with God, even though you the whole night, day and night, you work, you still do not know what is the purpose of your life. And then, but at thy word I will let down the nets. When Father let Peter allow Jesus to come in his life, by following his word, by believing what Jesus commanded him, and then immediately, not one night, not one day, not 1 hour, at that very moment, he got what he needed to get, the fish. His life is fulfilled. The purpose of being fisherman was fulfilled. He got the fish. The same way with our life. When we let Jesus to come into our life, to come into our everyday activities, then life will be full of meaning. That's what happened. And when they had done this, they enclosed a great shoal of fish, and as their nets were breaking, they beckoned to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. What happened? No fisherman toiled the whole night to get this thing. But when they follow the instruction of the Lord, that very moment, not one or two fish, the whole net was filled with the fish. So St. John Chrysostom said, the real rich person are those who materially do not have much, but they are satisfied with their life. the satisfaction that comes from God. The real poor person are those who have a lot of things in life, but were never satisfied in the heart. Therefore, happiness is not because of money. Happiness is not because of riches. Happiness is the state of the heart. When the heart is filled with God, when the heart knows the purpose of their life, that life is not only this one, there will be continuation. And that when that people take into heart the need of the soul. The need of the soul is not money. The need of the soul is grace. The need of the soul is not gold. The need of the soul is prayer. The need of the soul is not fame. The need of the soul is the sacrament. The need of the soul is not big house. The need of the soul is love. All this kind of spiritual thing need to be cultivated within the heart if you want your soul to grow. Why many people do not like to go to the church? They choose to sleep until the afternoon on Sunday. Because on Saturday, they watch movie or they watch football until dawn. So they're going to get up. Why? They give more time into this kind of thing, into this kind of activities, rather than for God. They forget that finally, their spirit, their soul, has to answer to the Lord, whatever it does in life. There will be day of judgment. Whatever we are doing, we will be questioned. There will be a day of judgment. Whatever we are doing, we will have to answer. And we cannot hide that in front of God. We will be naked in front of the Lord. We will be open. Now, as human being, among the human being, we can be hypocritical. We can hide, especially we priests. We can hide behind our robes. But then, in front of the Lord, there is no hiding. Hebrews chapter 4, 13 says, Hebrews chapter 4, verse 13 says as follows, that we cannot hide anything from the Lord, that we will be responsible for whatever we are doing in this life, and then that we will receive reward or punishment. Not that God punishes us. Our deed punish ourselves. Let us read in Hebrews chapter 4, 13. It says, and before Him no creature is hidden, but all are open and laid bare to the eyes of Him with whom we have to do. Nothing is hidden in front of God. We can tell lie to other people. We can pretend that we are spiritual. We can pretend that we really believe in the Lord. We can pretend that we are righteous, but the Lord searches the heart. Human beings look at the face, but the Lord searches the heart. Each one of our heart. So that's why there is no use for us to pretend. If you want to be with God, be serious. Go deeper, Jesus said. When you want to go be with the Lord, don't just, try, okay, you go to the church one day, or especially if you have children, go to Sunday school. Whatever when you're dead, I'm home. Some parents are like that. Let us go deeper. Let us be serious, because the business of the Spirit is serious business. When we live this world, nothing will take with us, only what we do in faith. And then it says, but when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord. When the Lord touched the life of somebody, they realize how weak they are. When somebody met the Lord, they realize that they are a sinful person. Only the sinful person who do not want to repent to say that they don't have sin. The saints always confess they are sinner. They are the first person to know that they are sinner. When we live in a dark place, there is no light. We do not see that our whole cloth is dirty. But when we see in the light, even a small speck on our cloth, we will see it. So when people do not say, I don't have any sin, people live in the darkness. Because they do not know there is sin in their body, there is sin in their life. Only in the light of that light, we understand who we are. So in order for us to understand who we are really, come to that light. Follow him. For he was astonished, and all that were with him, at the catch of fish, which they had taken. And so also with James and John, sons of Zebedee, who were partners with Simon. And he said to Simon, do not be afraid. Henceforth you will be catching men. And when they had brought their boats to land, they left everything and followed him. Yes. When our life is touched by the Lord, just like this fisherman, our life will be changed. Life will never be the same. Christianity is not about religion. Christianity is about relationship with the living God. If you become Orthodox only because you want to have religion, you will never get anything. But if you want to become Orthodox because you want to encounter with God in your personal life, you want to have a relationship with God in your personal life, you want to know Him and be known by Him, in that way your life will be changed. In becoming Christian, we do not change anything. You have to look at what is wrong with me. The Bible tells me when I become Christian, when I believe in Jesus, I will become a new person. I will be changed. Why am I not changed? It is not the mistake of the Bible. It is our own mistake that we do not take the teaching of the Bible seriously. It is our mistake because we do not live the life of the church deeply. It is our mistake because we do not go into our spirit deeper and deeper.